Hello everyone. So today we are going to study about the blood groups. Everything which you want to know about blood group. That is, in this video we are studying about what are the blood groups and what are antigens and antibodies. What is Rh factor? Who discovered blood groups? And what is the compatibility? This is the big issue, that is compatibility. Who can give blood to whom and who can take blood from whom. Okay? And what is meant by erythroblastosis fetalis? So these are the points which we are going to discuss in this video. So the video is going to be very important and it is for everyone, whether you are a science student, whether it is a general person, like you are not studying at all, you are not student at all, you are a general person, then also it will be of some benefit to you, because blood is something which is related to everyone, and sometime or other we may need to transfuse blood, or we must always know what is blood group, and we must always know that what are the factors on which the blood group depends. So let us concentrate on what are blood groups. The very first thing is that before starting about the knowing about the blood groups, we must know some important points. What are the important points? That every body has an ability to recognize its own cell. Every body has an ability to recognize its own cell, whether the given cell is of his own or not, because that is very important. Okay, we must know that the given cell is of our body or not. So this is a principle by which our body come to know about the foreign cell and our own body cells. Whenever there is an infection, whenever we are taken blood from someone else, whenever there is a transfusion, or whenever an organ is transplanted, or whenever a surgery is being done, so in all these cases we come to know that if there is any foreign thing in our body, so that will be because of our ability to recognize its own and foreign bodies. Okay, so that is very important thing. Now this is made possible by having different kinds of glycoproteins and other kinds of proteins. So this recognition, like whenever we have school, and in the school every child is given a particular uniform, or whenever there is an organization, everyone is given a particular ID. So these IDs or the uniform, or when we go to any other country, we are given a passport and a visa. So the passport and a visa and the ID and the uniform, these are the identity by which we recognize at once that the particular person is belonging to our community, our group, our organization, our country or not. In the same way, the body has certain type of things which by which a body recognize whether this particular cell or a particular thing which we have, whether it is belonging to our body or not. So if it is not, then what has to be done? So that is important thing, and that is depending on a certain type of glycoprotein. Remember, glycoprotein and some other type of protein. Sometimes it may not be glycoprotein, but it is definitely a certain kind of protein. So it is the protein which is helping us to recognize our cells with the other cells. So whenever a foreign cell enters, at once body recognize this is not a part of our body, and then what has to be done, that body will decide. Okay. Similarly, our blood also have RBC, and it is the RBC. On the surface of RBC there are certain kind of proteins, and these proteins recognize that this particular RBC, this particular part of the RBC is not our body's part, it is someone else's part, and then our body will decide what has to be done. Okay, so this is how. Now the blood groups are there due to the presence or absence of certain kinds of antigen proteins. So it is the antigen proteins which decide what type of blood group we have. It is the antigen proteins on the surface of RBC. Where are these antigen proteins found? These are found on the surface of RBC. So RBC, we know that they are the biconcave cells, and the cell will always have a membrane, and membrane will have certain type of proteins, and some of these proteins will be acting as antigen protein, and they will be They will be helping us or helping the RBC to identify whether this particular RBC is our body's part or someone else, some other's part. So there are two kinds of antigens. Antigens, there are two kinds. These antigens are called antigen A. This is the antigen A and antigen B. Now, what type of antigen is found? Accordingly, our blood group will be. So there are only two type of antigens there in the body of human being. Now, there are two kinds of antibodies that are found. There are two kinds of antibodies. They were antigens. I don't remember what I said. They are antigens, okay, and they are antibodies. So antigens are two type. Capital A, they are denoted with. Antigens are always denoted with capital A and capital B. They are denoted with capital letters, okay, and antibodies are denoted with small letters. So these are small a and small b. There are two type of antibodies also. So there are two type of antigens and there are two type of antibodies. Antigens are found on the surface of RBC. Antibodies are found in plasma. Antigens are found in blood plasma. They are not found in on RBC. Okay. So plasma has an ability to pass through the cell, through the cell membrane. Okay, so that will have a better ability to go through the cells, through the tissues, through the organs, whereas RBC will remain limited into the blood vessels. RBC cannot come out of the blood vessels. Okay, so that will we'll study a little later. If antigen is A, suppose someone has got A type of antigen, so his blood group will also be A. If someone has got A type of antigen on the surface of RBC, his blood group will also be A. Okay, so blood group is directly depending on the type of antigen protein found on the surface of RBC. It is clear? Similarly, when the blood group is A, then the plasma will have antibody B. Blood group is A, plasma will have antibody B. So antigen and blood group are similar, but antigen and antibodies are opposite to one another. So when the blood group has antigen A, the antibody in the plasma will be B. That you have to remember. If antigen is B on the surface of RBC, the blood group is also B. Antigen is B, blood group is also B. Very clear. So blood group is directly depending on the antigen protein which are found on the surface of RBC. Okay. Hence, uh, there are found kinds of blood groups. What are the blood groups? That is blood group A, blood group B. Now, if both the antigens are found, then blood group will be AB. And if none of these antigens are found, then the blood group will be O. So, blood group is depending on the type of antigen. If antigen is A, blood group will also be A. If antigen is B, blood group will also be B. If both the type of antigens are found on the RBC, then the blood group will be AB. If none of them is found, कोई प्रोटीन ही नहीं है on the RBC, then the blood group will be O. So O is denoting nil. O is there for nil. There is no antigen found there. Okay. So another kind of protein is also found on the RBC, that is Rh protein. There is another type of protein which is found antigen which is found on the RBC, that is called Rh factor. Now Rh factor was first discovered in rhesus monkey. Okay, so according to the rhesus, RHESUS, so we have gave it name as rhesus. Okay, RHEUES. Sorry. So according to that, RH name is given. Okay, so RH factor is given because of the rhesus monkey. It was first time discovered. Okay, if this antigen in protein is present on RBC, if someone's blood have RBC on which RH factors are present, RH factors or RH antigens are present, so we say that his RH is positive, or he says simply that it is RH positive. So if the blood group is A, we will say A positive. If B, B positive. AB, then AB positive. If no, that is O is there, then we'll say O positive. But if these RH are absent, then we call it RH negative. So RH can be present or RH can be absent. There are only two options. As antigens we have studied, there are four possibilities: antigen A, antigen B, antigen AB, or antigen not found. And accordingly, there will be four type of blood, that is blood group A, blood group B, blood group AB, and blood group O. This is called ABO system. Okay, RH factor has only two possibilities. If it is present, RH positive. If it is absent, RH negative. I think these are very clear, simple terms. Okay, commonly the blood group and RH factor are mentioned together. So as I said, if A blood group is there and RH is positive, we'll write it A positive. If blood group is A and RH is negative, we'll write A negative. And similarly, we'll go on writing for the other kind of bloods. Okay, so this is very clear. In the olden times, whenever a soldier used to be wounded, now we have changed the topic. Okay, the blood transfusion rules. Now what? In the olden time, whenever any soldiers used to be wounded, कोई लड़ाई में लड़ता हुआ घायल हो गया, किसी तलवार मार दिया, so excessive blood used to be lost and he or she is about to die, then what people used to do, they used to give the blood of goat or sheep. A goat and sheep का blood और इंसान का blood, there are a lot of difference. But if suppose the blood is given in a smaller quantity, there may be a possibility of survival. Okay? Because only some cells will die. So it will not be a very panic situation. So they were doing experiments and some used to survive. See, most often such soldier used to die, but sometime some used to survive. So अगर survive हो गया तो डॉक्टर कहता है मैं नहीं करा, है ना, एंड अगर मर गया तो बोलो तो वैसे ही मरना था बिकॉज ही ऑलरेडी लॉस लॉट ऑफ ब्लड एंड तुम्हारे को आने में देरी हो गई, विच इज तो कॉमन फार्मूला. कोई भी डॉक्टर क्या कहता है, कभी वो अपने सर पे थोड़ी लेता, वो क्या कहता, अरे आप आने में देर कर दी, अब तक तो बहुत नुकसान हो गया है. सो दैट, but these were the initial time experiments in the 17th century. I'm talking about 17th century when the science was at its earliest step. जब वो न्यूबॉर्न स्टेप थे साइंस के, तब this was the time in the Greek and this thing in Europe, lot of people used to do experiments. रोमन्स वगैरह बहुत ज़्यादा करते थे एक्सपेरिमेंट्स. ठीक है, ग्रीक सबसे ज़्यादा करते थे. लेटर देन फिजिशियन थॉट कि यार हम क्यों शीप का और इनका ब्लड दे रहे हैं, इंसान के दे दें तो क्या हुआ. फिजिशियन स्टार्टेड ट्रांसफ्यूजिंग एनी पर्सन ब्लड. को थोड़ी पता था कोई ग्रुप होता है, they were unaware of group, so they used to give blood of any person XYZ. Suppose some soldier is got wounded, एक कोई हेल्दी सा आदमी पकड़ा, बोले यार तेरा थोड़ा ब्लड दे दे, इसको डाल देंगे. सो दे यूज्ड टू ट्रांसफ्यूज द ब्लड एंड वो ब्लड भी कोई सिरिंज विरिंज का सिस्टम नहीं था. आई डोंट नो हाउ दे यूज्ड टू रिमूव एंड ऑल, बट दे स्टार्टेड गिविंग द ब्लड ऑफ some person. There were very few people who used to survive. Most of the people used to die. If they die, they have a lot of this thing, arguments. They used to say, yeah, you came late, or this is God's will, or lot of blood is gone, or this and that, whatever they used to say. ठीक है. If someone survived, तो डॉक्टर की तो वाहवाही हो गई. They used to praise doctor like anything. Out of such soldiers, some used to survive, but most used to die. अब क्यों survive हो रहे हैं, क्यों die हो रहे हैं, that they were unaware of. Later in year 1900 to 1901, now when we are talking about 17th and 18th century, now we came into 20th century. A scientist was there. His name was Carl Landster. तो ये कार्ल लेंस्टर ने क्या करा? He also did the same thing. One thing is there, that is whenever these Western world, they used to do any research, they used to copy it down. They used to write it and they used to store in the universities. So whenever a further person used to come for experimentation or for learning or for studies or for mastering, so these people used to go through those failure of experiments or any other experiments and they used to further research on it. So this is how they used to get success. हमारे यहाँ पे क्या हुआ है इंडिया में, whatever science has been researched done, that is being kept in Sanskrit, and that also was allowed only a certain people to study. So our science that has remained hidden. Even today, many of the people don't know. Only some people who know about Ayurveda, they know about astrology and all, because it is still written in Sanskrit and still it is available to only a few people. It is not available with everyone. But their science used to be available for everyone. Hence, when the Landsteiner came in 1900, year 1900 and 1901, he said, he thought, let me conduct the experiment. So people used to get wounded, they used to come in the hospital. Corona experiment, किसने रोका? So he developed a method of taking the blood of two people. Who two people? The patient. Suppose this is one person. This is one person who is wounded, and this is another person who is willing to donate blood. So what he had to do? You take his blood in a vessel and his blood also in a vessel, and mix these two bloods. Mix these two blood and then see what happens. Okay, because see, he has seen that some people used to survive, many used to die. So you just wanted to know what is the logic behind it. So what he did, he took the blood of two people. कि भाई ये बॉडी के अंदर जाके क्या करेंगे, पहले बाहर ही देख लो ना इनको. Let us see outside only what will happen if the two bloods are mixed. Because the death is because of the mixing of the blood. If the blood is not mixed, probably he would have not died unless the too much of blood is lost. So this person, Langston, what he did, he took the blood of the two people in some vessel, maybe a watch glass, maybe test tube, whatever it is, and he used to mix them together. So on mixing, what he used to find, that some of the blood used to coagulate, but sometimes the blood never used to coagulate. If different people's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 people's blood is being collected and one wounded person is there, wounded person's blood is mixed with all these 7, 8 people. So he used to find that most of the people's blood used to coagulate, but some people's blood never used to or did not show any such coagulation. वहाँ coagulation नहीं हो रहा, ज़्यादातर में हो रहा है, किसी में नहीं हो रहा. He said this is the right type of blood. The reason he did not know. He said this is the right type of blood. And when such blood used to be transfused, person used to survive. तो कार्ल स्टीनर की तो हो गई बल्ले बल्ले. ठीक है. So this is how then he used to transfuse such blood after test of the patient and he used to survive. So this is how Carl Landsteiner was the first person who could give the view how the blood can be transfused. तो हम यहाँ पे लिख रहे हैं that is Carl Landsteiner's method. क्या मेथड था उसका? Take the blood from the patient, take the blood from the donor. $7-8 donors you call, take their blood, mix them together, see the result. If blood used to coagulate, उसको बोले भैया आप जा सकते हैं. We don't need your blood. If it does not coagulate, you call him, take the blood and transfuse into the person. ये तो हो गया इनिशियल मेथड. नाउ कार्ल स्टीनर वहाँ रुकने वाला थोड़ी था. उसने कहा यार कार्ल लैंडस्टीनर, सॉरी मेरे बात, I'm taking his name in a wrong way. Carl Landsteiner. So what Carl Landsteiner did, now he wanted to find out that what is there which is making this coagulation. So then the next thing is he developed a safe way to blood transfusion because he came to know that there are two type of antigens which are found on the RBC. So there are what type of antigen? Blood group antigen is A, blood group is A. Antigen is B, blood group is B. Antigen is AB, blood group is AB. If antigen is not there, blood group is O. RH factor was not aware of. RH factor अभी नहीं पता है. ठीक है. जब ब्लड ग्रुप ए है तो उसके अंदर एंटीबॉडीज कौन सा है? एंटी बी. ब्लड ग्रुप बी है तो उसके अंदर एंटीबॉडी कौन सा है? एंटी ए. मीन्स इफ blood group is A and such person is given blood group B, blood group B is transfused, then he has got anti-B type of antibodies. So the anti-B will fight with blood group A type of sorry B type of antibodies and they will coagulate it. समझ गए आप? आपने a person's blood group is A, person's blood group is A, that means he has got antigen A. And plasma में क्या है? In the plasma anti B. We shall write it in small letter. Okay, when such person is given a blood of B type, so this is antigen and this is antibody. So this antigen and antibody will coagulate and they will form a curd like substance. जैसे दूध फट जाता है ना, दूध फट के दही बन जाता है, as the milk spoils and change to curd. So how curd become globulars, the same type of the blood will form if the two different type of blood are mixed. Antigen A, antibody is B. Antibody B has given by mistake B type of blood group which has got antigen B. So antigen B and antibody B will coagulate each other. Vice versa, now blood group B is there and you have given him blood group A, then blood group A B जो है that has got anti A will coagulate the antigen A. Okay, so this is how. Now AB के अंदर क्या है? AB has got both the type of antigen and no type of antibodies. AB has got two type of antigen but no type of antibodies. So since it doesn't have antibodies, so it can take blood from him और इससे तो ले ही सकता है, उसमें तो एंटीजन ही नहीं है. So blood group B can take blood from him or from him or from him or from him. And blood group O cannot take blood from anyone because इसके अंदर तो antibody A भी है, antibody B भी है. If A type of blood is given, then also coagulation. B type of blood is given, then also coagulation. AB type of blood is given, then also coagulation. But only O type of blood will be welcome because then there will be similar type of antigen and antibodies. So this is how Karl Landsteiner was the first person who found out the method of blood transfusion, which type of blood transfusion is safe and which is not. So they on further study he identified the antigen types and gave the rule for blood transfusion. Let us tabulate the antigens and antibodies which are found and the RH factor which are there. तो हम एक टेबल बनाते हैं. देखिए क्या है टेबल. ब्लड ग्रुप का एंटीजन, ब्लड ग्रुप एंटीबॉडीज, RH factor whether present or not, person who can receive blood from such person and person who can donate, person whom he can donate the blood. Okay, when the blood group is A positive means antigen is A and the RH factor is present. तो यहाँ पे क्या है, ब्लड ग्रुप एंटीजन इज A, एंटीबॉडी कौन सा हो गया, स्मॉल b, RH factor is present. Such person can receive blood from A positive, A negative, O positive and O negative. Because A positive can take blood from A positive, no problem, antigen same, antibodies are also same. A negative कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है क्योंकि एंटीजन एंड एंटीबॉडीज और RH फैक्टर है ही नहीं वहाँ. देयर इज नो RH फैक्टर इन नेगेटिव. So when the RH factor is not there, so he can take blood because there is nothing to coagulate each other. O positive अपन ने कहा that antigen A can take the blood from O because O doesn't have any antigen in it. So A का antibody किससे fight करेगा because there is no antigen on O. So that type of blood he can take. And O negative का blood तो ले ही पाएंगे because उसमें RH factor भी नहीं है. इसमें RH positive, इसमें भी RH positive, so they can take. Okay, so this is the funda. Okay, and the person whom he can donate blood, A positive can donate blood to A positive as well as ए बी पॉजिटिव, नेगेटिव को नहीं दे सकते क्योंकि आर एच इसमें पॉजिटिव है. सो ही इज गॉट आर एच पॉजिटिव, सो ही कैन नॉट गिव ब्लड टू एनी नेगेटिव. सो ए कैन गिव ए टाइप ऑफ एंटीजन. तो ए इज फाउंड इन बोथ, ए में भी है एंड ए बी में भी है. नेक्स्ट क्या है, ए नेगेटिव. व्हेन द ब्लड ग्रुप इज ए नेगेटिव, तो एंटीजन क्या है, कैपिटल ए, एंटीबॉडी स्मॉल ए, सॉरी स्मॉल बी, आर एच फैक्टर एब्सेंट. he or she can take blood from A negative or O negative because A negative में सेम टाइप ऑफ एंटीजन, O negative में कोई एंटीजन है ही नहीं, आर एच फैक्टर दोनों में एब्सेंट है. whom they can donate blood, they can donate blood to A positive, A negative, O positive and sorry AB positive and AB negative. Okay, so it is clear I think. So B positive है antigen B, antibody A, RH factor is present and such case B antigen, B antigen, so he can take blood and RH factor उसमें भी present है और यहाँ पे भी present है, no problem. Okay, he can receive even blood from B negative because antigen is same and RH factor है ही नहीं, so there is no possibility of coagulation. O positive से भी ले सकता है because O doesn't have antigen, so A can welcome it and RH is positive, so here no problem. And O negative, तो RH negative है ही नहीं, कोई problem ही नहीं है. But किसको देगा blood? Whom he can donate blood? Only to the B positive and AB positive. No other person he can donate blood. Okay, B negative, antigen is B type, antibody is A type, RH factor is absent, and he can receive blood only from B negative and O negative. पॉजिटिव करते ही इसके आर एच पॉजिटिव हो जाएंगे, उसमें आर एच नेगेटिव है एंड देयर विल बी कोगुलेशन. एंड whom he can give blood, B negative can give blood to B positive, B negative, AB positive and AB negative. चारों को ये ब्लड दे सकता है. लेट्स टॉक अबाउट AB पॉजिटिव. ए बी पॉजिटिव इज यूनिवर्सल रेसिपिएंट. देखिए ए बी पॉजिटिव है एंटीजन दोनों टाइप के, ए टाइप एज वेल एज बी टाइप, बट इट डजंट हैव एनी एंटीबॉडीज. So since antibodies are not there, so he can take blood from A as well as B, as well as from O, as well as from AB. चारों से blood ले सकता है ना. RH present है, so he can receive blood from all kind of blood groups and RH factor. So ये क्या हो गए, they will be universal recipient, PIENT. Okay, but they can give blood only to AB positive. लेने वाले सबसे हैं, देने में बड़ी कंजूसी है. They will give to only their own type. Okay, if it's AB negative तो क्या होगा, एंटीजन दोनों टाइप के हैं, एंटीबॉडी नो टाइप, RH factor is also absent. So these two are absent, so they create problem. So they can receive blood from only negative types. Okay, whether it is A type, whether it is B type, whether it is AB type, whether it is O type, but RH should be negative. So they are universal recipient only for RH negative type, and they can give blood to whom? Whom they can give? They are AB negative, so they can give blood to AB negative as well as AB पॉजिटिव. तो ये उनसे थोड़े अच्छे हैं, ये एटलीस्ट ए बी नेगेटिव को भी दे रहे हैं. नेक्स्ट है ओ पॉजिटिव. ओ पॉजिटिव डजंट हैव एनी एंटीजन. आर एच सॉरी एंटीजन जो है उसके आरबीसी के ऊपर नहीं मिल रहे. ठीक है, सो दिस एंड एंटीबॉडीज कौन से, ए एंड बी दोनों. सो ए बी कैन give their blood to others क्योंकि उसमें एंटीजन नहीं है, so they will be welcome, but they cannot take blood from anyone because they have got both the type of antibodies which will fight with their antigens. RH factor is present, so they can take blood only from O positive and O negative. As I said, A से लेंगे तो A के एंटीबॉडीज है यहाँ पर है, B से लेंगे तो B के एंटीबॉडीज है. If AB is taken, AB's antibodies are there. So they cannot receive blood from any other type of blood group except for O. And they can donate blood to all kind of positive. ए पॉजिटिव को भी हमने देखो यहाँ पे लिखा था किस किस को दे सकते हैं. दे कैन गिव टू ए पॉजिटिव, ए नेगेटिव, ओ पॉजिटिव, बी पॉजिटिव. Let's talk about O negative. So O negative, then what will be the blood group antigen? No antigen. Antibodies, they will have both A type as well as B type. So when any type of blood group will come, whether the A is given by chance, so they will fight with A. If B is given, they will fight with B. If AB is given, they will fight with both. But O can be given because O में कोई एंटीजन एंटीबॉडी होता ही नहीं, तो कोई प्रॉब्लम ही नहीं है ना. सॉरी, O में जो एंटीबॉडीज हैं वो दोनों एंटीबॉडीज इसमें प्रेजेंट है, सो देयर इज नो प्रॉब्लम. बट RH factor is a problem. Since they do not have any RH factor, so they can give blood antibodies. तो मतलब इसमें एंटीजन ही नहीं है तो they can give their blood to, इनमें एंटीजन नहीं है so they can give their blood to A type, they can give to all kind of B type, they can give their blood to AB, and they can give their blood to O. They cannot receive blood from any of these because they have antibodies for both. O negative can give its blood to all kinds of blood group, whether it is A positive, A negative, B positive, B negative, AB positive, AB negative, or O positive or O negative, because blood group O negative will not have any type of antigens present in it, neither of blood group antigen nor of RH antigen. So they cannot receive blood from anyone except from O negative. O negative blood ही वो receive कर पाएंगे, no other type of blood they can receive. So O negative is a win-win position for others who want to take blood, but it's a very bad position for themselves. Suppose there is some accident take place and someone is of O negative, so O negative person will receive blood only from O negative, तो उसके लिए ब्लड ढूंढना दिक्कत हो जाती है. So in all the hospitals, O negative bloods are always kept in safe. If suppose someone come for taking O negative blood, so they will ask for a replacement. ठीक है. If they have plenty of O negative, they can give, but that doesn't mean कि A positive, B positive, that will be in situation वैसी है. In India, the most common type of blood group is B positive. Most common type of blood process is B positive and O positive. So whenever there is an accident, mass number of people come with this type of blood only. इसी type के blood की सबसे ज़्यादा ज़रूरत पड़ती है. So there will be maximum demand for this type of blood only. So both the situations are जैसे भगवान करे किसी को जरूरत ही नहीं पड़े ब्लड की, है ना. So one more issue with the blood, RH factor. Okay, now we are considering only RH factor. And वो क्या है problem with RH negative mother. Suppose there is a mother and her blood group is negative, any type, A negative, B negative, AB negative or O negative, वो है negative, and she got married to a person whose blood group is positive. ठीक है. A woman is having blood group negative and her husband is with positive. ठीक है. So in that case, when the pregnancy take place, there is more probability of having a fetus with RH positive type. More probability of having a fetus with RH positive. So this is mother, say for example, ऐसे बना लेते हैं. This is mother and ये इसका यूट्रस है और यहाँ उसका बच्चा बनना पड़ा. And the blood group of this child, say for example A positive है and mother's B positive है. So see one thing B negative रखना है. Okay, I'll tell you one more thing, that is when the fetus and mother are there, their blood never mixes. One thing is clear, इसका blood कभी इसमें आ नहीं रहा. So A and B will never conflict. अगर ऐसा होता तो संसार में कभी भी दूसरे टाइप का ब्लड ग्रुप आ ही नहीं पाता. वट एवर ब्लड ग्रुप मदर हैड, दैट टाइप ऑफ ब्लड ग्रुप ओनली यूज टू कम. बट thank God is very this thing plan. Why? Because the RBC cannot move from this to this or this to this. RBC doesn't move from one cell to another, one blood vessel to another blood vessel. So from mothers, fetus will not receive, and from fetus, mother will not receive. But antibodies can move because antibodies are in plasma. So as long as these are there, अभी कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं हो रहा है. मदर इज बी नेगेटिव, अभी कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं हो रहा. द प्रॉब्लम विल टेक प्लेस ओनली एट द टाइम ऑफ बर्थ. When the child is given birth, then there is a possibility that little bit blood of the fetus and mother can mix together. At the time of birth, when the placenta is removed, there is some possibility that some of the blood from fetus can go to the mother's blood. ठीक है, फीटस में आया तो कोई प्रॉब्लम ही नहीं है, वो तो पॉजिटिव टाइप का है. थोड़ा बहुत वो होगा तो दो सेल्स विल बी फॉल्ट. एक्चुअली क्या होता है ना, दैट इज व्हेनेवर द रॉन्ग टाइप ऑफ ब्लड इज गिवन, व्हाट एक्चुअली हैपन दैट व्हाटएवर आरबीसी इज देयर, दे फाइट विद वन अनदर, दैट मेनी नंबर ऑफ आरबीसी विल बी डाइंग. सो इफ द स्मॉल अमाउंट ऑफ ब्लड इज देयर, नो प्रॉब्लम. ठीक है, अगर आपने किसी वो, इफ यू रिमेंबर इन द बिगिनिंग ईयर व्हेन द शीप्स ब्लड एंड द गोट्स ब्लड यूज्ड टू बी गिवन, व्हाई दे वर सर्वाइव, बिकॉज दैट वाज गिवन इन अ वेरी स्मॉल क्वांटिटी. तो स्मॉल क्वांटिटी में क्या होगा, से फॉर एग्जांपल 20 lakh RBC has come from outside, 20 lakh RBC of that person will also die. यही तो होगा ना, इससे ज्यादा को तो नहीं मारेंगे ना वो. ठीक है, coagulation will take place at the ratio of 1:1, so that will not be a big problem. Okay, so यहाँ पे क्या हो रहा है, the blood, little bit blood can mix, and as some cell of B negative will die, some cell of A positive will die. But problem कहाँ आ रहा है, इसका एंटीबॉडी इसके साथ मिक्स हुआ A पॉजिटिव वाला, तो वो इसके अंदर क्रिएट कर देगा एंटी RH एंटीबॉडी. Now mother will develop anti-RH antibodies, and this once developed, they will remain throughout life for the remaining part of the life. So ये बच्चा तो हो गया हेल्दी, कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है इसको, because the blood did not mix in the first child. When on the pregnancy there is there is more probability of having fetus with RH positive blood. ठीक है, अभी यहाँ क्या कहते हैं, during more probability RH positive वाला है ना, during the birth the child some of the blood will be mixed and all, ये मैं आपको बता चुका हूँ. अब क्या होगा, they are produce what, anti-RH antibodies, and they can harm to the next pregnancy. अब next time when the mother is got pregnant again, next time the mother is got pregnant again, and this time again, this is the same. और यहाँ हम बच्चे का पैर बना देते हैं, यहाँ ऐसे बना देते हैं, जस्ट फॉर द स्टडी है ना. ये हमारा एम वो थोड़ी है, और ये अम्बिलिकल कॉर्ड है, चला गया. ठीक है, अब इसमें क्या है, एंटी RH एंटीबॉडीज. एंटीबॉडी लिख देता हूं, उतनी जगह नहीं है. Okay, now these antibodies will pass into fetus, because I said antibodies can pass, not antigens. Antigens are on the RBC. RBC cannot enter from one blood vessel to another, but antibodies can enter because antibodies are in plasma. Plasma will be exchanged. So यहाँ से antibodies उसमें चले गए, and ये क्या है, anti-RH, वहाँ RH मिलते ही RH के साथ they will coagulate. So what will happen? The fetal blood will be coagulated. ये जो है ना, इसने fetus के blood को coagulate कर देगा. As a result, what will happen? The fetus, sorry, चलो कोई बात नहीं, दोबारा बना देंगे. Okay, so as a result, what happened? Fetus के blood मरते जाएंगे. Fetus RBC will keep on dying, and this process will begin from very first month of pregnancy, and The pregnancy is for 9 months. So as NTRH antibodies will go on entering into the fetus, they will keep. But the thing is that the child is continually making in RBCs, so is not dying at once. But it is quite possible that such child will die. So there will be a stillbirth. There will be a stillbirth. अब ऐसे में क्या है, that the mother will never be able to conceive again, only she will have one child. Yes, होना तो यही था, लेकिन thank God that the science has developed, anti-RH antibodies के लिए भी antibodies बना दिए. So at the time of birth, first child, the mother is given with those injections which will continue to prepare anti-RH antibodies. K against antibodies. So the anti-RH antibodies will be killed there on there only. So the mother will not have anti-RH antibodies anymore, and she can give birth to the next child also. So such mother had to be very careful. If some mother is having RH negative type of blood group and the husband is having RH positive type of blood group, one has to take this type of care. Okay, so इसको हम कहते हैं, the term is not given here, इसको कहते हैं erythroblastosis fetalis. Okay, erythroblastosis fetalis. So this particular जो case है, that is called erythroblastosis fetalis. So that's all. I'll come again with a new topic tomorrow. Till then, you keep watching, liking, sharing and सब्सक्राइबिंग. अब सब्सक्राइब तो एक ही बार करेंगे, बट यू कैन आस्क अदर्स टू सब्सक्राइब. ठीक है, सो आई कीप कमिंग विथ न्यू इश्यूज and some common issues which are same for all, anybody can learn and it will be useful for anybody. So of course this is a part of 11th science, 11th bio, but it is a general issue which anybody can learn. So that is why so this will be very beneficial for those students who are studying in class 11th bio. Okay, otherwise it is beneficial for everyone. That's all for today. Thank you. See you tomorrow with another music, another video. Sorry.